Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 1. The most widely accepted definition of economics was given by A. Adam Smith, B. Alfred Marshall, C. H.J. Davenport, D. J.S. Mill, D. Lionel Robbins. So, the most widely accepted definition of economics was given by Lionel Robbins, and he gave this definition in 1932. Now, he defined economics as a science. Which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means, which have alternative uses. So Lionel Robbins is option E, and as we have seen, Lionel Robbins gave the most widely accepted definition of economics in the year 1932. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 2. The arrangement of individual wants in order of priority is referred to as A. Choice, B. Demand schedule, C. Opportunity cost, D. Scale of preference, E. Scarcity. So we are looking at what the arrangement of individual wants in order of priority is termed. So let's define each of the options and see which one is closest to this definition given to us as the question. So choice refers to the ability of a consumer or producer to decide which product, be it good, service or resource, to purchase or provide from a range of options. Now, demand schedule is the tabulation of the quantity of a good that all consumers in a market will purchase at a given price. Now, opportunity cost is described or defined as the loss of other options when one alternative is chosen. Then scale of preference refers to the arrangement of individual wants in order of importance. And then lastly, scarcity refers to limited availability of a commodity, which may be in demand in the market. So from all the definitions we've given here, we see that scale of preference is described, or we describe it as the arrangement of wants in the order of importance. So, and the question given to us talks about the arrangement of individual wants in order of priority. Hence, scale of preference is the best definition closest to that in the question. So the correct answer is D, scale of preference. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 3. Find the arithmetic mean of the following numbers. So you have the numbers displayed here. And then A 2.0, B 3.0, C 4.0, D 4.3, E 4.6. So the first thing you will do in order to find its arithmetic mean, in order to make it easy for you, you arrange the numbers in ascending order. So 2.0, 2.1, 2.8, 3.2, 4.0, 5.7, 6.0, 6.2. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 numbers. Now the formula for arithmetic mean, which is represented arithmetic mean, which is usually denoted by x bar, is equal to summation of x over n. So summation of x means summing each of all these numbers together, adding all the numbers together, and then n is the number of items you have. That is the number of data, the number of items you have. So summation of x, 2.0 plus 2.1 plus 2.8 plus 3.2 plus 4.0 plus 5.7 plus 6.0 plus 6.2 divided by 8. So that is 32. If you sum that, you get 32 over 8, which is equal to 4.0. So 4.0 is the arithmetic mean, and 4.0 is option C. So C is the correct answer. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 4. The formula for calculating mean for an ungrouped data is given as, so you have A, x bar is equal to summation of fx over n, B, x bar equals to summation of fx over summation of f, C, x bar is equal to summation of x over n, D, x bar is equal to summation of x minus x bar all squared, and then E, x bar is equal to summation of x squared over n. So the important thing you need to note here is that we're looking for we're trying to establish the formula for calculating mean and for an ungrouped data. So this should give you a clue that the formula for mean for grouped data is different from that of ungrouped data. So in grouped data you have each item and then the frequency in which they appear, and then for ungrouped data you just have the data given to you without frequency. Now for a grouped data, the formula for mean is given as summation, like x bar is equal to summation of f x all over summation of f. That is the summation of the frequencies multiplied by the corresponding data, the corresponding item, all over the summation of all the frequencies. And then for ungrouped data you have x bar is equal to summation of x over n. That is you just sum the data, all the items given to you, that is x, and then divide this by the number of data you have, or the number of items you have, which is n. So the formula x bar is equal to summation of x over n is option C. So option C is the correct answer to this question. Thank you. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 5. The basic economic problems of a society include the following except A. Efficient use of resources, B. For whom to produce, C. How to produce, D. What to produce, E. Where to produce. So what we are looking at here are the concept we are looking at here are the basic economic problems of a society. What are the basic economic problems of a society? Now, the fundamental questions or the fundamental problems of a society, right, as it relates to economics, right, asks the following questions. So the questions asked that indicate the basic problems of a society in terms of economics is what to produce. That is one of the questions, and hence you consider this one of the basic economic problems of a society. So what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, and then efficient use of resources, the problem of using resources efficiently. So these are the basic economic problems of a society. What to produce? The society is tasked with deciding what is required. How to produce? How will they go about in deciding or in producing what has been decided? For whom to produce? Who will be the target markets? And then how do they use the resources efficiently in production? So these are the basic economic problems of a society. And now we are asked which one is not an economic problem. So we have efficient use of resources is, for whom to produce is a problem, how to produce is, D. What to produce is a problem. So where to produce is not considered a basic economic problem of a society. Hence the correct answer is C. Where to produce. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 6. The reward for labor as a factor of production is A. Commission, B. Interest, C. Profit, D. Rent, E. Wage. So we are looking at labor as a factor of production. Now, the factors of production refers to inputs, the inputs required for production of either goods, so goods and services. Now, the factors of production are 4 in number: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Now, each of these factors of production are associated with rewards. So, what are the rewards for each of the factors of production? So, for land, the reward for land is rent. The reward for labor is wage. The reward for capital is interest. And the reward for entrepreneurship is profit. So as we have established here, the reward for labor is wage. So we have rightly established it here. And wage amongst the options is option E. So E, wage, is the correct answer to this question. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more of our videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 7. Quasi-rent is payment made to any factor of production that is A. Permanently fixed in demand, B. Permanently fixed in supply, C. Temporarily fixed in demand, D. Temporarily fixed in demand and supply, E. Temporarily fixed in supply. So the concept we are looking at here is the concept of quasi-rent. And quasi-rent is basically a form of rent or short-term payment for or as returns to the supplier or owner of a permanently fixed factor of production. Permanently fixed factor of production in terms of supply. So the concept of quasi-rent basically describes a form of short-term or temporary payment as a return to the supplier for a permanently fixed factor of production in terms of supply. That means that quasi-rent applies for factors of production that the supply is permanently fixed. So in the options we have permanently fixed in supply as option B. So that is the correct answer to this question, B, permanently fixed in supply. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 8. A business in which all the risk of production is borne by one person is known as A. Cooperative society, B. Partnership, C. Private limited company, D. Public limited company, E. Sole proprietorship. So we are looking at a form of business where all the risks associated with the production is handled or is borne by only one person. So we'll define each of the options given to us and we'll see which one corresponds to this definition we have been given. So a cooperative society is an association of people who come together and invest their savings in order to start up this organization to meet their economic and social needs. So that is a cooperative society. Then a partnership is a form of association formed by agreement of two or more parties that is to handle or manage a business and then distributes its profits, so share profits, to share its profits. Then a private limited company, which is usually represented as LTD, is a type of privately held company in which, or a type of privately operated company which limits the owner's liability, so limits the owner's liability to shares, and the limited number of shareholders is 50 people, so 50 people. Then for a public limited company represented as PLC, it is a limited liability company that offers shares of stock to the general public. And then for sole proprietorship, it is an enterprise run and operated by one person. Now you see that sole proprietorship, which is option E, is a form of business which is operated by one person, and hence all the risk of production is borne by that same person alone. Hence the answer is E, sole proprietorship. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 9. A preference shareholder differs from a debenture holder because the former is A creditor to the company, B entitled to a fixed rate of dividend, C entitled to a fixed rate of interest, D not involved in the risk of business, E paid dividend after the ordinary shareholder. So the concepts we are looking at here is 1. Preference shareholder, 2. Debenture holder. So we'll start from the preference shareholder. And the preference shareholder is entitled to what is known as preference shares. Now, preference shares are shares of a company, so they are shares of a company's stock with dividends, shares of a company's stock with dividends that are paid out to the shareholder, the preference shareholder, so preference shareholder, before the common stock dividends are paid. And then debenture holders are subscribers to what is known as debentures, and debentures are a part of a loan. So you can see that debentures or debenture holders basically take some sort of loan from a company, while preference shareholders receive dividends from the company. Now, the preference shareholder, as we have seen here, is entitled to some dividends, some fixed rate of dividends before the common stock dividends are even released. So option B says entitled to a fixed rate of dividend. So option B is the answer to this question, because preference shareholders are entitled to a fixed rate of dividend. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Part Question 10. The migration that involves movement of people out of their own country is known as A. Emigration, B. Immigration, C. Seasonal migration, D. Urban-rural migration, E. Urban-urban migration. So we are looking at various forms of migration, and migration is the term used for movement of people out or in of a particular region. So we have emigration. Now, emigration refers to the process of leaving one's own country to settle in another. So that is emigration. And then immigration refers to movement of people into a country from another country. Now, seasonal migration is usually a much more biological term, and it is used to refer to movement of any species. Like I said, it's mostly a biological term. So movement of species during different times of the year, so during different seasons, hence the name seasonal migration. Then option D, urban rural migration, refers to movement from an urban region to a rural region. And then urban migration refers to movement from urban region to another urban region. So from what we've seen here, we are asked for what is the form of migration, the migration that involves movement of people out of their own country, and we've established that emigration is the process of leaving one's country to settle in another. So the correct answer to this question is A, emigration. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 11. The table below shows the age distribution of the population of a country. So you have the age distribution here, you have age groups, and you have the populations. So the question is, from the table above, the dependent population is A, 35,000, B, 40,000, C, 41,000, D, 45,000, E, 70,000. So the concept we are looking at here is dependent population, and dependent population refers to people between ages 0 to 17 and then ages 61 and above. So in order to get the population that is dependent population for this country, we'll look at the number of people within these age groups. So for 0 to 17 you have 30,000 people, so 30,000 plus 61 and above you have 11,000, so plus 11,000. And if you add that, the answer you get is 41,000. So 41,000 is option C. So C is the answer to this question. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 12. The ease by which people move between occupations and geographical areas is known as dash of labor. So A, geographical mobility, B, horizontal mobility, C, individual mobility, D, mobility, E, vertical mobility. So what we are looking at here is mobility of labor or labor mobility. And for us to know which of them carries with this question given to us, we'll look at each of the definitions of the options. So for geographical mobility, it involves movement of labor from one geographical location to another. So horizontal mobility refers to movement of labor from one occupation to another. However, on the same level or the same grade. Now for individual mobility is not a concept, so we can rule that out as not being part of our answers. Then mobility in general just refers to ease of movement. Then for vertical mobility, it involves movement from one occupation to another, but to a higher grade or higher level. So from the definitions we have given, we see that geographical mobility involves movement between geographical areas. So the correct answer is A, geographical mobility. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 13. Bulk breaking in the chain of distribution is the sole responsibility of A, consumers, B, hawkers, C, producers, D, retailers, E, wholesalers. So the chain of distribution is the main concept we are looking at here, and another concept we are looking at is bulk breaking. So bulk breaking in chain of distribution. Now the chain of distribution refers to the method by which goods and services produced pass from the producer to the final consumer. So this channel or chain that the goods pass from producers to consumer is the chain of distribution. Now bulk breaking, the concept of bulk breaking refers to reducing or decrease in terms of quantity. So you would agree with me that from producer to the consumer, the quantity that is circulated at some point will have to decrease for some reasons. So the chain of distribution runs from producer to wholesaler to retailer and then finally to the consumer. So this is the chain. Now the wholesaler receives in bulk from the producer, and when he receives in bulk or buys in bulk, he then sells in small units to the retailer, who then sells in even more smaller units to the consumer. So you see that the bulk breaking, that is main decrease in quantity, happens at the level of the wholesaler. Therefore the correct answer is E, wholesalers. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 14. The last link in the chain of distribution of goods and services is referred to as the A, final consumer, B, hawker, C, manufacturer, D, retailer, E, wholesaler. So the concept you're looking at here is the chain of distribution, and the chain of distribution refers to the means or the channel in which goods and services move from the producers to the final consumers. And this channel is, or this chain of distribution is this way. So you have the producers first, who manufacture the good. Then after the producer you have the wholesaler who buys in bulk from the producer. So from the wholesaler to the retailer. Now the retailer buys in smaller quantities from the wholesaler, and then finally you have the consumer that purchases the good for their own use. Now you can see that the final link in this chain are the consumers, and for purpose of emphasis, sometimes you call the consumers the final consumers. So that is option A. Hence the correct answer is A, final consumer. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 15. If a bottle of Maltina cost 80 naira in 2013 and increased to 100 naira in 2014, calculate the index number. A, 80, B, 100, C, 120, D, 125, E, 130. So what we're looking at here is index number, and index number is calculated this way. So index number, formula for index number is new price divided by the old price multiplied by 100. So from our question, the old price or the new price is 100 naira. So 100, 100 divided by the old price, which is 80 naira. So 80 multiplied by 100. So this, when you solve, will give you 125, which is option D. So 125 option D is the index number. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 16. Which of the following is a disadvantage of trade by barter? A. Double coincidence of wants. B. Free from balance of payments crisis. C. Free from modern monetary system. D. Non-wastage of time and effort. E. Personal and natural resources are perfectly utilized. So we are looking at the disadvantages of trade by barter, and the concept of trade by barter simply means direct exchange of goods, without use of money. So the direct exchange of goods without use of money is trade by barter. Now let's look at the options given to us to see which one is a disadvantage. So option A says double coincidence of wants. Now double coincidence of wants may actually be seen, or can actually be seen, as a disadvantage of trade by barter. Now double coincidence of wants refers to the event where you have to have two individuals. So you have to have two individuals that want the same, or want what the other wants. So let's take, for example, you have two individuals, right? The first one has, let's say, yam, and the second has rice. Now, in order for trade by barter to take place, the first person that has yam has to want rice, and the second person that has yam has to want yam. So this is the condition. This is double coincidence of wants that has to be in place for trade by barter to take place. Now, free from balance payments crisis is an advantage. Free from modern monetary system, that is freedom from having to use money, is an advantage. Non-wastage of time and effort is also an advantage. Personal and natural resources are perfectly utilized, can be seen as an advantage. But this double coincidence of wants, where you have to find someone that wants what you have and also has what you want, is seen as a disadvantage of trade by barter, as this can be incredibly difficult to get. So the correct answer is A, double coincidence of wants. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 17. The agricultural policy in Nigeria that is aimed at developing land and water resources is referred to as A. Green Revolution, B. Land Use Decree, C. National Accelerated Food Production Project, D. Operation Feed the Nation, E. River Basin Development Authority. So we are looking at different policies, different agricultural policies in Nigeria that have been put in place for different reasons. So we are looking for the one that its aim is to develop land and water resources. So the Green Revolution, the aim of the Green Revolution is for self-sufficiency in food production. So that is the aim of the Green Revolution. Now, for the land use decree is basically for regulation of land management. Regulation of land management. Now, for National Accelerated Food Production Project, that is also for self-sufficient food production. Now, for Operation Feed the Nation, that was established for the purpose of agricultural extension and mobilization. Agricultural extension and mobilization. Then for River Basin Development Authority, that was established for the purpose of water resource development for agricultural production. So water resource development to boost agricultural production was what the River Basin Development Authority was established for. Now, from this, the goals of these policies, we see that the River Basin Development Authority aims at providing or improving water resources so that agricultural production can also improve. So it's safe to say it's aimed at developing land, that is via the agricultural production, and also water resource development. So the correct answer is E, River Basin Development Authority. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 18. The statistical method that is used to quantify the amount of dispersion of a set of data value is referred to as A, median, B, mode, C, range, D, standard deviation, E, variance. So we're looking at means of quantifying amount of dispersion in a given set of data. Now, generally, you have some statistical tools or statistical methods known as measures of dispersion. And among these measures of dispersion, you have different tools that can be used, but we are looking for the one that is best used to quantify the amount of dispersion. Now, amongst the options given to us, median and mode are not measures of dispersion. They are called measures of central tendency. And measures of central tendency aim to show us how close a group of given data are to each other. So median and mode are ruled out and cannot be the answer to this question. So what we are looking at here is range, standard deviation, and variance. Now range is simply the difference between the largest number in a given data and the lowest number. So difference between the largest and lowest number gives you the range. Now you see that it doesn't exactly present you with an accurate or the exact amount of dispersion, even though it is a measure of dispersion. Then as for standard deviation is mathematically given as the square root. The mathematical expression basically gives us the definition. So the square root of the sum of the numbers minus arithmetic mean all squared divided by n, which is the number of data given to us, minus 1. Now this is for the ungrouped data, while for the grouped data, standard deviation is given as summation of f, that is frequency, multiplied by x, the number, minus arithmetic mean all squared over summation of frequency. Now the variance is just reverse, that is without the squared sign. So among these methods, the best method to use is the standard deviation. The standard deviation is the best method to use to quantify amount of dispersion. So the correct answer is D, standard deviation. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 19. If the standard deviation of 10 students in a class is 16, what is the variance? A 4, B 6, C 16, D 160, E 256. So we're looking at standard deviation that has been given to us as 16, and we're asked to find the variance. Now basically the relationship between standard deviation and variance is that standard deviation is equal to square root of variance, and based on this relationship you can say variance is equal to standard deviation squared. So if you are given variance and you're asked to find standard deviation, all you have to do is square that number given to you. Now we are given standard deviation here, so standard deviation 16. So in order to find our variance, all we have to do is square 16, and when you square 16, what you get is 256, and 256 is option E, which is the answer to this question. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 20. The reward for capital as a factor of production is A. Income, B. Interest, C. Profit, D. Rent, E. Wages. So we are looking at capital as a factor of production, and factors of production are basically those inputs that are required or that need to be in place for production to take place. So one of them is capital, but the four factors of production are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship. So these factors of production are associated with some rewards. So the reward for land is rent. The reward for labor is wages. The reward for capital is interest. And the reward for entrepreneurship is profit. So we're asked for the reward of capital, and from here we see that the reward for capital is interest. So the correct answer is B. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 22. The ability of workers to do more work during a given period of time is referred to as A. Demand for labor, B. Efficiency of labor, C. Labor force, D. Mobility of labor, E. Supply of labor. So we're looking at these concepts as it relates to ability of workers to perform labor or ability to perform labor. So in order to answer this question, we look at each of the options, the concepts captured by each of the options, and we would see which one best describes the question given to us. So option A, which is demand for labor, is basically the number of labor hours that the employer is willing to hire. So this is demand for labor. Then for efficiency of labor, it refers to the productive capacity of a worker to do more or better work, or both, within a specified time. Now, the labor force refers to all the members of an organization who are able to work. Then mobility of labor, option D, refers to the geographical and occupational movements of workers. And then supply of labor, lastly, refers to the total hours that workers will work at any given rate. So from the explanation of all the options we have here, we see that the demand for labor has its definition. Efficiency refers to the production capacity of a worker to do more or better work, or both, within a specified time. So you can see that this definition, or the explanation of efficiency of labor, captures the essence of ability to do work within a specified or given period of time. So the correct answer is B, efficiency of labor. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 23. If labor force in the country is 120 million and 55 million and unemployed, what is the unemployment rate? A. 40.5%, B. 45.6%, C. 45.8%, D. 55.4%, E. 58.7%. So we're looking at the calculation of unemployment rate, and unemployment rate has a formula, and that formula is giving us the number of unemployed people in a country divided by the labor force multiplied by 100, since it's percentage. So from the question given to us, the number of unemployed people is 55 million, so we'll write 55 since we know it's in million, and the labor force is 120 million, so times 100. So the labor force is, or the unemployment rate rather, is giving us 45.8%, and 45.8% is option C. Therefore the correct answer is C, 45.8%. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 24. The system of exchanging goods for goods is referred to as A. Demand for money, B. Money order, C. Money transfer, D. Supply of money, E. Trade by barter. So we're looking at system. We're looking at a system for exchanging goods without use of money. That is exchanging goods for goods. And we're asked what that system is called. So let's define each of the options given to us and then see which one best suits this definition. So option A, which is demand for money, is defined as the desired holding of financial assets in the form of money. Now, money order is basically described as a payment order for a pre-specified amount of money. Now, money transfer refers to any system of transfer of funds, that is from one account to another. Now, supply of money refers to the total value of money available in an economy, that is supply of money. And then trade by barter refers to exchange of goods directly without a medium of exchange such as money. So from the definitions we have given, you see that option E, trade by barter, refers to exchange of goods without a medium of exchange, and the question asks for the system of exchanging goods for goods. So option E, trade by barter, is the closest, best defines this. So the correct answer is E, trade by barter. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 25. The basic similarity between money and trade by barter system is that both are A. Divisible, B. Homogeneous, C. Portable, D. Used as store of value, E. Used to facilitate exchange. So the concept we are looking at here is the similarity between the money and trade by barter system. And when looking at these similarities between the use of money as a medium of exchange and the trade by barter system, the basic similarity between these two systems is that both aim at making sure that exchange of goods or services takes place. So the aim of both money system and trade by barter system is such that exchange of goods and services will take place. So from that, you can say it is used to facilitate exchange. So option E, which is used to facilitate exchange, best suits this explanation. So the correct answer is E, used to facilitate exchange. So thank you. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 26. The problems of agricultural development in Nigeria include the following except A. Adequate storage and processing facilities, B. Inadequate credit facilities, C. Land tenure system, D. Poor transportation system, E. Problem of pests and diseases. So the concept we're looking at here is problems of agricultural development in Nigeria. Now, the problems of agricultural development in Nigeria are numerous, can range from poor transportation system, so poor transport, can to inadequate storage and processing facilities, to unfavorable government policies, to land tenure system, poor electricity supply, and so on and so forth. Now we have listed inadequate storage and processing facilities as a problem. However, option A talks about adequate storage and processing facilities. Now, adequate storage negates the problem of inadequate storage. So, adequate storage and processing facilities is not a problem of agricultural development in Nigeria. Hence, the correct answer is A. Adequate storage and processing facilities. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 27. Which of the following is not an agricultural program developed to increase productivity in Nigeria? A. Farm Settlement Scheme, B. Green Revolution, C. National Fertilization Production Program, D. Operation Feed the Nation, E. River Basin Development Authority. So we are looking at agricultural programs developed to increase productivity in Nigeria, and we have 5 of them here. So let's take a look at each of them. So the Farm Settlement Scheme was established to provide farm lands for prospective farmers. So providing farmlands as well as settlements, so farm settlements to prospective farmers to carry out agricultural procedures and also for their own use. Then you have the Green Revolution. Now the Green Revolution was designed to promote self-sufficiency in food production. Self-sufficiency in food production. Now the National Fertilization Production Program isn't exactly recognized as a program. Now the Operation Feed the Nation was also designed for self-sufficiency in food production. So its goal is similar to that of the Green Revolution. And then you have the River Basin Development Authority, which was basically designed or established for water resource development for agricultural production. So from this, we rightly established that the National Fertilization Production Program is not a program. Therefore, the correct answer is C. National Fertilizer Production Program is not an agricultural program. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 28. Which of the following is used to control inflation in Nigeria? A. Buying of securities in the open market. B. Increase in cash reserve requirements. C. Reduction in bank rates. D. Reduction of taxes. E. Use of deficit budget. So we're looking at means for controlling inflation in Nigeria, and there are many means for controlling inflation in Nigeria and also in other countries, but one of the most common is what is called the open market operations control. Now, this open market operations control, what it does is that it controls inflation, right? And it controls inflation due to the fact that when treasury bills are sold to commercial banks, it decreases money supply, and decrease in money supply controls or prevents inflation from happening. So that is seen in option A, which is buying of securities in the open market. So this is the open market we speak of, the open market operations we speak of. So A, buying of securities in the open market, is the answer to this question. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 29. A situation when government expenditure is more than expected income is known as A. Balanced budget. B. Budget deficit. C. Budget surplus. D. Capital expenditure. E. Recurrent expenditure. So we will take a look at each of these concepts provided in the options and see which one is best described as when the government expenditure is more than the expected income. So in balanced budget, revenues are equal to expenditure. The revenues are equal to expenditure. Then In a budget deficit, revenues are less than expenditure. That is, in other words, expenditure exceeds revenue. Then for budget surplus, more income than expenditure. So the income or the revenue exceeds expenditure. Now for the concept of capital expenditure, money spent by a business. So capital expenditure refers to the money spent by a business or organization on acquisition of fixed assets. And then recurrent expenditure refers to money spent by a business as well, but for creation or acquisition of non-fixed assets. Or another way to put it is that any money that is not spent on acquiring fixed assets. So recurrent, and examples of this is money spent on wages or salaries. Now, from the explanations we have seen, we see that budget deficit refers to when expenditure exceeds revenue, and that is what we see here in the question, when expenditure is more than expected income. So the correct answer is B, budget deficit. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 30. The idea behind the policy of import substitution strategy is to promote A. Domestic production, B. Economic diversification, C. High importation of goods and services, D. Local sourcing of raw materials, E. Sectoral growth in the economy. So we are looking at the concept of import substitution strategy, that is the policy of import substitution strategy. And import substitution strategy is a trade and economic policy that advocates or promotes replacing foreign imports with domestic products. So you can see that it promotes domestic production, that is in order to replace importation of foreign goods. And option A is domestic production. So the idea behind the policy of import substitution strategy is to promote domestic production. Option A is the correct answer to this question. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 31. Firms whose output is either bulky or perishable will benefit more from which of the following locational factors? A. Nearness to financial institutions, B. Nearness to labor, C. Nearness to markets, D. Proximity to electricity, E. Proximity to raw materials. So the factors given to us in the options are locational factors, and these factors describes locations of various inputs that will be necessary for production. So Nearness to financial institution is the first one. Now, nearness to financial institution can be seen as a benefit. However, for a company or a firm with bulky or perishable goods, it's not exactly seen as what will benefit the institution greatly. So option A is ruled out. Now you have nearness to labor. Nearness to labor similarly will also not benefit the company who deals in the production of bulky or perishable goods as much as other factors. So nearness to labor is ruled out. Now nearness to market is quite interesting because with nearness to market, the firm will be close to the market. Hence, cost of transportation will be decreased due to the fact that the items are bulky. And also nearness to market will also eliminate the problem of having to store and process. So based on the fact that the market is close to the firm, transportation of goods will be much more easier. So the need to store or even process the goods may not be that necessary. So proximity to electricity is not also seen as a major factor, as it may not have quite much to do with whether the goods are bulky, although it may have to do with perishable goods. Then proximity to raw materials will not exactly influence the bulk or how perishable the goods are. So the correct answer is C, nearness to market. It will be of more benefit to the firm. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 32. The model of a capitalist economy in the world is A. China, B. Ghana, C. Nigeria, D. Russia, E. USA. So the concept we are looking at here is a capitalist economy, and a capitalist economy is an economic system in which private individuals or businesses own capital goods. Now, capital goods are just basically goods used in production of other goods. So you can say capital goods are more or less raw materials for the production of other goods, and capital goods are usually not sold directly to the consumers. Now, examples of countries that practice capital or capitalist economy include the USA, right, the UK, Canada, Germany. Okay, you also have Japan, etc. So the USA specifically is known for its practice of capitalist economy, and the USA is option E. So the correct answer to this question is E, USA. So other countries listed in this amongst the options are known for other forms of economy, but the USA specifically is famous for its capitalist economy. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 33. The cost of producing an additional unit of a firm's output is known as dash cost. A. Average. B fixed, C marginal, D total, E variable. So we are looking at the various forms of cost. Okay, the various forms of cost we may have, and in order for us to know which one suits this description given in the question, let's look at what each of the options mean. So for average cost is the per unit cost of production, obtained by dividing total cost by total output. So total cost is usually denoted by TC, and total output is usually denoted by Q, as it represents also the total quantity of output. Now for fixed cost, a fixed cost is a cost that does not change with an increase or decrease in amount of goods or services produced or sold. Now a marginal cost, for marginal cost, is cost added by producing one additional unit of a product. So total cost, which is option D, is total economic cost of production. And then lastly, the variable cost, which is option E, refers to costs that change as quantity of goods and services produced changes. So the type of cost that changes as quantity of goods and services produced change is also known as the variable cost. Now we are asked for what the cost of producing an additional unit of output is known as, and when we're looking at marginal cost, which is option C, we said it is the cost added by producing one additional unit. That's an additional unit of a product, and a product is the output of a firm. So you can see that that definition is close to that given to us in the question. So the correct answer to this question is C, marginal cost. So the cost of producing an additional unit of a firm's output is known as marginal cost. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 34. Average fixed cost multiplied by the quantity produced is equal to dash cost. A, average. B, average fixed. C, marginal. D, total. E, total fixed. So we are given an expression here. So average fixed cost, when it is multiplied by quantity produced, what is it equal to? So for average cost mathematically is usually given by total cost, which is represented as TC, divided by total output or quantity, which is Q. Now average fixed cost is fixed cost FC divided by quantity of output or total output, quantity of output, which is also Q. So for C, marginal cost. Marginal cost is given by change in total cost, that is TC, divided by change in quantity produced, that is Q. Then D, total cost, is given by cost or total fixed cost, total fixed cost plus total variable cost. Now there's another formula for total cost. Total cost is also given as cost per unit multiplied by total quantity produced, that is Q. And then total fixed cost is basically given by total, remember total fixed cost is option E, so total fixed cost is also given by total cost minus total variable cost. Now cost per unit in a way can also be estimated as average fixed cost, so multiplied by total quantity, and we said that is another formula for total cost. So the correct answer to this question is D, total cost. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 35. A consumer will maximize his utility when the marginal utility of that commodity is equal to the dash of the commodity. A, price, B, quantity, C, ratio, D, value, E, weight. So the main concept we are looking at here is marginal utility. And marginal utility is the satisfaction gained, or which a customer gains from consuming an additional quantity of that item. So the satisfaction a consumer will get from purchasing and consuming an extra or additional quantity of a particular item is known as the marginal utility. Now, I want to see when the marginal utility is maximized. When does it increase? When is it increased? Positive. So that's what we are looking at as maximization of marginal utility. Now, the utility is maximized when purchase of that or of an additional or more of the item brings about satisfaction. So that is when you say utility is maximized, and purchase of an additional item is seen as increase in quantity. So obtaining more in terms of quantity of that item is seen as this purchase of the additional item. So equal to, that is quantity of the commodity as we've expressed, quantity being the additional item, and quantity is option B. So the correct answer to this question is B, quantity. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 36. If a consumer budgeted to spend 30 naira on goods but paid 15 naira to have them, his consumer surplus is A. 10 naira, B. 15 naira, C. 25 naira, D. 30 naira, E. 70 naira. So the concept we are looking at here is consumer's surplus. The concept of consumer surplus. Now, consumer's surplus is the difference between the price that consumers pay and the price they are willing to pay. So the price they are willing to pay is their budget, right? So the amount they budgeted, and then the price that they end up paying, right, is this price over here. So from the question given to us, the price that the consumer was willing to pay was 30 naira, and he ended up paying 15 naira for that good. So our consumer surplus will be calculated as 30 naira minus 15 naira. So we have to get the difference. So that is 15 naira. So 15 naira is the consumer surplus, and 15 naira is option B. Option B, 15 naira, is the correct answer to this question. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 37. A demand backed up by ability and willingness to pay for specific commodities within a given period of time is referred to as dash demand. A. Abnormal, B. Complementary, C. Derived, D. Effective, E. Demand. So here we are looking at the various types of forms of demand, of price demand. Now, in order for us to know which one fits into this description given to us in the question, let's take a look at the definition of each of the forms given to us as the options. So abnormal demand, which is option A, is demand contrary to the conventional law of demand. That is the conventional law of demand, which holds that the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded, and vice versa. So that is, the lower the price, the higher the quantity demanded. Now option B, complementary demand, is demand for a product generated by a demand for a related but different product. So let's say a demand for cars, for example, which is a product, will bring about demand for car tires. So it's a related but different product. So that is complementary demand. So option C, which is derived demand, is a demand for a commodity, which is a consequence of demand for something else. Then option D, effective demand, is a level of demand that represents real intention to purchase by people with means to pay. So that is effective demand. Now, option E, which is market demand, is the sum of individual demand, for a product in market. So we have seen what each of these options mean, and we described effective demand as a level of demand that represents a real intention to purchase by people with means to pay. And that means to pay, that intention, real intention, okay, that is the willingness, right? The intention and ability, that is willingness to pay, that is intention to purchase or intention to pay, and people with means. So that means to pay is the ability to pay for a specific commodity. So we can say that D, effective demand, is the correct answer to this question. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 38. When a small change in price brings about a bigger change in the quantity supplied, the supply is said to be A, fairly elastic, B, fairly inelastic, C, perfectly elastic, D, perfectly inelastic, E, unitary elastic. So we are looking at the elasticity of supply. Right, so the concept we're looking at here is elasticity of supply, and we're looking at the types or forms of it. So fairly elastic supply means small changes in price cause large changes in quantity. So that is what fairly elastic supply is. So for fairly inelastic supply, more change in price but less change in demand for goods, or quantity supplied. Now, for perfectly elastic, percentage in perfectly elastic supply, percentage of change in quantity or in quantity supplied is infinite, even if percentage of change in price is 0. Now, perfectly inelastic, no change in quantity even when there is change in price. And then for unitary elastic, the proportion of change in quantity is equal to proportion of change in price. So now, from the definitions we have given, you see that small changes in price cause large changes in quantity is seen in fairly elastic. So the correct answer to that question is A, fairly elastic. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 39. If price falls below the equilibrium point, the resultant effect is that A. Demand will be equal to supply, B. Demand will be greater than supply, C. Price will be undetermined, D. Quantity supplied will be zero, and E. Supply will be greater than demand. So we are looking at what happens when price falls below the equilibrium point. We are looking at the effect of price falling below the equilibrium point. Now, if this is the condition, if market price is below or falls below the equilibrium point, then quantity supplied is or will be less than quantity demanded. So this is the idea, and another way to represent it is that the quantity demanded will be greater than supply, and hence there will be shortage. So like we've rightly said, the quantity supplied will be less than quantity demanded, or demand will be greater than supply. So these two statements are the same. Demand will be greater than supply. So demand will be greater than supply is option B. So option B is the correct answer to this question. So thank you. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 40. Tax collected from individuals and profits of companies is referred to as A. Direct tax, B. Excise duties, C. Export duties, D. Import duties, E. Indirect tax. So we are looking for the type of tax which is collected from individuals and profits of companies. So direct tax is tax levied on income or profits of individuals or firms, that is people, levied on people who pay it and not goods or services. So the tax levied on income or profits of individuals or firms, that is the people who pay it and not goods or services, are known as direct tax. Now for excise duties, it is tax designed to discourage purchase of particular goods. So excise duties are commonly seen in import. So in order to prevent or to discourage importation of certain goods, the excise duties are placed on those goods so as to discourage import of them. Now for export duties are taxes on goods or services that become payable when the goods leave the economic territory. So when some particular goods or services leave an economic territory, there are some taxes that become payable, and those taxes are known as export duties. Now for import duties are tax collected on imports and also on some exports by custom authorities. And the aim of this is usually to raise state revenues. So the aim of import duty is usually to raise state revenues. And then finally, indirect tax is basically tax levied on goods and services rather than on people, that is, rather than on income or profit. So indirect tax is the opposite of direct tax. So we have rightly established that direct tax is a form of tax levied on income or profit of individual or firms, that is the people who pay those taxes. So the correct answer is A, direct tax, because it is tax collected from individuals and profits of companies, and not, like we have rightly specified here, not goods or services. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 41. An estimate of income and expenditure of a country for a period of 1 year is known as A, balance of payment, B, balance of trade, C, budget, D, revenue, E, visible trade. So we're looking at what an estimate of income and expenditure of a country is known as. So let's look at the definition of each of the options given to us. Now, a balance of payments is basically a statement of all transactions made between entities in a country and the rest of the world over a given period of time. Then balance of trade is the difference between the monetary value of a nation's exports and imports over a time period. Now, budget is an estimate of revenue and expenditure of a country over a specified period. Now, revenue refers to the income that a business or country, as the case may be, has from its business activities. And these business activities are usually sales of goods and services. And then visible trade basically refers to exchange of physically tangible goods between countries, usually in the form of import, export, and re-export. So from the definitions we have given, we see that option C, which is budget, refers to an estimate of revenue and expenditure of a country over a specified period of time, and that is roughly the same with the option, the question given to us, the definition given to us in the question. So the correct answer is C, budget. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 42. The following are factors affecting supply of money except A. Cash reserve, B. Changes in gross domestic product, C. Price level, D. Rate of interest on loans, E. Reserve requirements imposed on banks. So we're looking at factors that affect supply of money, and we're looking for the one which does not affect supply of money. Now, the supply of money is affected. Supply of money is affected by the following factors. So you have open market operations. An open market operation is basically when the central bank buys government bonds, hence creating money. So the supply of money is increased. And then next is reserve requirements imposed on banks. Now the reserve requirements imposed on banks is the percentage of deposits made by customers at the bank that the bank may keep hold of. Now, another factor that affects the supply of money is rate of interest on loans. Now, the rate of interest on loans can be said to be another factor affecting the supply of money, and it is usually set by central banks. Now, increase in GDP or GDP, gross domestic product, is another factor, as higher GDP means the value of money in circulation increases. So that's how it affects the supply of money. Now, option A, which is cash reserve, it also affects the supply of money, as basically the cash in reserve can be withheld or released. That will affect the supply of money or the money in circulation. Then you also have changes in gross domestic product, which we have seen among the factors that affect supply of money. You have price level, you have rates of interest on loans. Now, rates of interest on loans is a factor that affects demand for money. So rates of interest on loans affects demand for money, and also supply for money, as higher interest on loans will mean less people will take loans, and you have less money in circulation, so less money will be supplied. However, lower rates of interest on loan means more people will take loans, and that. So reserve requirements imposed on banks, we have also looked at that reserve requirements as a factor. Now, price level is the only one we've not been able to establish as a factor affecting the supply of money. So correct answer is C, price level. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 43. The Nigerian Bank of Industry (BOI) is an example of dash bank. A. Central, B. Commercial, C. Development, D. Merchant, E. Microfinance. So we're looking at the Nigerian Bank of Industry. The Nigerian Bank of Industry (BOI). And we're asked what type of bank is it. So let's look at each of the following options. what they mean, and let's see which one matches the services provided by the Nigerian Bank of Industry. Now, the central bank basically manages the currency and monetary policies of a state or country. Now, for commercial banks basically provide services such as deposits, loans, and basic investments. Now, option C, which is development banks provides medium and long-term capital for productive investment. Then option D, merchant bank. The merchant bank deals with commercial loans and investments. And then microfinance bank basically provides finances for small businesses and individuals. So the Nigerian Bank of Industry, as the name implies, basically provides funds for development of industries in Nigeria. And we said development banks provide services such as medium and long-term capital for productive investment. So industrial development is classified as productive investment. Hence option C, which is development bank, is the right answer to this question. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 44. If in 2018 the price of bread increased from 40 naira to 50 naira, resulting to a decrease in quantity bought from 160 to 80 units, what is the price elasticity of demand? A -2, B 0.1, C 0.5, D 2, and E 3. So what we are looking for here is calculation of price elasticity of demand, and in order to calculate that, you obtain percentage change in quantity and then you divide it by the percentage change in price. So to get percentage change in quantity, you subtract initial quantity minus the final quantity. So the initial quantity, that is from 160, then the final to 80, so divided by the initial, which is 160, and that answer is of course in percent. Now divided by the change in price, percentage change in price. So the initial price 40 minus final price divided by the initial price. So that also will be in percent. Now if you estimate this, you will get 160 minus 80 is 80 over 160, and 80 over 160 is 0.5, so that is 50%. Now that divided by 40 minus 50 is minus 10, so minus 10 over 40 is minus 0.25, or equal to minus 25%. minus 25%. That is this multiplied by 100, and likewise 0.5 multiplied by 100. So 50, like we said, percentage change in quantity, which is 50 here and 25 here. So 50 divided by minus 25 is equal to minus 2. So minus 2 is option A. So option A, minus 2, is the correct answer to this question. And in statement form, you can say that demand is elastic because it is greater than 1, and the change in quantity is higher than the change in price. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 45. A diagrammatic representation of the relationship between price and quantity demanded is referred to as A. Abnormal demand, B. Change in demand, C. Demand curve, D. Demand schedule, E. Derived demand. So we are asked for what the diagrammatic representation of relationship between price and quantity is referred to as. So what does it represent? So let's look at what each of the options mean and then pick out our answer. Now, abnormal demand is basically just any demand that deviates, or any deviation from the conventional law of demand. So that will be referred to as an abnormal demand. Now, change in demand describes a shift in consumer desires to purchase a particular good or service, irrespective of change in price. Now, a demand curve, which is option C, is a graph or a diagram showing how the demand for a commodity varies with changes in price. Now, a demand schedule or market demand schedule is a tabulation or a table showing quantity of goods that consumers in a market will purchase at a given price. And lastly, option E, which is derived demand, is demand for a commodity which is, or as a consequence of, demand for something else. So that is what a derived demand means. Now, from the definitions we have given, option C, demand curve, we define it as a graph or a diagram showing how the demand for a commodity varies with changes in price. So it displays or it exhibits how demand of a commodity is related to the changes in price. So the correct answer is option C, which is demand curve, as it represents the relationship between price and quantity in a diagrammatic form. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 46. The market structure where there is only one buyer and many sellers is known as A. Duopoly, B. Monopolistic competition, C. Monopsony, D. Oligopoly, E. Perfect competition. So we are looking at market structures, and we are looking for the one in which there is only one buyer but many sellers. So let's define each of the options given to us. Now, a duopoly basically is a market structure in which two firms have dominant or exclusive control over a market. So that is what a duopoly means. Now, for monopolistic competition, it is a type of imperfect competition in which many producers sell products that are different from one another by branding or quality, and hence are not close substitutes. Now, a monopsony is a market structure in which a single buyer substantially controls the market as the major purchaser of goods or services offered by many sellers. So in a monopsony, you have a single buyer controlling the market with many sellers. Now, you have the oligopoly. Now, the oligopoly is a state of limited competition. That is, you don't have infinite number of sellers or producers. So we have the market shared by a small number of producers or sellers. And then lastly, you have the perfect competition. Now, in the perfect competition, you have all firms selling an identical commodity or an identical product, and all firms being price takers. So that is perfect competition. So from what we have defined, we see that option C, which is monopsony, you have a single buyer controlling the market as the major purchaser of goods and services offered by many sellers. So you have a single buyer, one buyer, and many sellers. So the correct answer is C, which is monopsony. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 47. Perfect market is characterized by the following except A. Existence of preferential treatment, B. Free entry and exit, C. Homogeneity of products, D. Large number of buyers and sellers, E. Perfect mobility of factors of production. So we are looking at the concept of a perfect market, the characteristics of a perfect market. Now, a perfect market is a market where the sellers of a product or service are free to compete fairly, and all have complete information. That is, all the buyers and sellers have complete information. So basically, in a perfect market, you have many buyers and sellers, all of which are free to compete fairly with the same or similar resources. Now, some of the characteristics of a perfectly competitive market or a perfect market is that there are many buyers and sellers. Another characteristic is that the products are similar. That is, every firm or every company in the market produces a similar product. Another is buyers and sellers all have access to perfect information about price. Then there are no transaction costs, and there is free entry and exit from the market. So free entry into the market and free exit from the market. So let's look at the options given to us. Now, existence of preferential treatment. We have already said that in a perfect market, every single person, every buyer, every seller has access to the same and perfect information concerning prices. Hence, there is no preferential treatment in a perfect market. So existence of preferential market or existence of preferential treatment is not a characteristic of a perfect market. So the correct answer is A. So the remaining options, free entry and exit into the market, we have seen that as a characteristic. Homogeneity of products, we said products are similar, it's a characteristic. Large number of buyers and sellers is a characteristic. And then perfect mobility of factors of production falls under free competition or perfect opportunities. So the correct answer, like we have rightly said, is option A. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 48. Net national income plus depreciation is equal to A. Capital consumption allowance, B. Gross domestic product, C. Gross national product, D. National income, E. Net national income. So we're looking at what net national income is and what do you get when you add net national income to the depreciation. Now, the net national income or NNI is defined as the gross national income, or simply national income minus the depreciation of fixed capital assets such as buildings, machinery, and transport equipment, right? So, and this depreciation of fixed capital assets occurs usually through wear and tear. So, net national income is national income or gross national income minus depreciation. So it means that if you add national income, if you add net national income rather to depreciation, what it gives is the national income or the gross national income. So the correct answer is option D, national income. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 49. If in a closed economy the value of the marginal propensity to consume MPC is 0.6, what is the multiplier? Option A 2.4, B 2.5, C 2.6, D 2.9, E 4.2. So what we are looking to calculate here is the multiplier from marginal propensity to consume, and the concept of marginal propensity to consume describes consumer behavior with respect to their income. So this is what marginal propensity to consume describes. Now, in order to calculate multiplier from MPC, the formula for doing that is 1 divided by 1 minus MPC. So the MPC in this case is 0.6, so we insert that into our formula. Multiplier equals to 1 divided by, open brackets, 1 minus 0.6. So what that gives us is 1 divided by 0.4. Of course, 1 minus 0.6 is 0.4. So 1 divided by 0.4 is equal to 2.5. So 2.5 is option B, and option B is the answer to this question, which is the multiplier. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 50. Determine the average propensity to consume if total national income is 250 million naira and total national consumption is 25 million naira. So A 0.1, B 0.2, C 0.4, D 1, E 10. So what we are looking to calculate is the average propensity to consume, represented by A, P, C. So the average propensity to consume is a measure of the fraction of the total disposable income consumed. Now, how is it calculated? It is simply calculated by dividing total consumption by the total income, and in this case is national. So quickly doing that, consumption is 25 million. So 25 million. So let's represent it in full. 5 million divided by 250 million naira. So if you divide this, the answer is 0.1. So 0.1 is option A, and A is the correct answer, the average propensity to consume. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 51. The international trade theory of comparative advantage was propounded by A. Adam Smith, B. Alfred Marshall, C. David Ricardo, D. J.M. Keynes, E. J.S. Mill. So we're looking at the theory of comparative advantage, and that economic theory was developed in the 19th century by David Ricardo, a British economist named David Ricardo. And in the theory attributed costs and benefits of international trade to the differences in the relative opportunity costs of producing the same commodities among countries. So basically this theory attributed the benefits of international trade to the opportunity costs in terms of other goods given up of producing the same commodities among countries. So David Ricardo, C, is the answer to this question. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. And welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 52. The reasons countries imposed tariffs include the following except A. Encourage importation of goods, B. Generation of revenue, C. Improve balance of payments deficit, D. Prevent dumping, E. Protection of infant industries. Now we are looking at tariffs and why countries or governments of countries imposed tariffs. Now a tariff is a tax imposed by a governing body on goods or services entering or leaving the country. Now tariffs usually focus on a specified industry or product. So the main purpose of tariff is to alter the balance of trade. So to alter the balance of trade either positively, usually positively. Now there are many reasons why governments impose tariffs. A few of them include protection of infant industries. They also have to fortify national defense programs. They could also do it to support domestic employment. They could do it to combat aggressive trade policies and to protect environment. And another could be to discourage importation. So these are some of the reasons why governments may opt to impose tariff. Now, option A says to encourage importation of goods. Now, this isn't usually a similar reason why governments opt to impose tariff. They usually import tariff on imported goods so as to discourage importation of goods into the country, and it is usually known as an import tariff. So import tariffs are usually imposed on goods entering the country in order to discourage the importation of those goods, in order to affect the balance of trade. So to encourage importation of goods is not one of the reasons why countries impose tariff. So option A is the right answer to this question. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 53. The following are barriers to international trade except A. Currency, B. Distance, C. Language, D. Religion, E. Tariffs. So we are looking at barriers to international trade, and from the options given to us we have to pick out the one which is not a barrier to international trade. Now option A, which is currency, can be seen as a barrier to international trade due to the unstable exchange rates. Now the exchange rates of currencies or foreign currencies are usually fluctuating, so they fluctuate virtually every minute, every single time. So this can be a barrier to international trade, as you may not exactly know the exact exchange rates for the trade you want to carry out. So for distance is definitely a barrier, as international trade sometimes involves trading between countries in different continents. So let's say you have one country in Africa carrying out international trade with another country in Europe. So the distance could be a barrier that could hamper the smooth trade from taking place. And then language, of course, is definitely a barrier to international trade. Now this is based on the fact that different countries or different groups of people in different countries may want to engage in trade may speak different language or different languages. So this means that there needs to be an interpreter involved, and sometimes there might be difficulty in exactly interpreting what is required to be interpreted. So language is a barrier to international trade. Now there's religion. Now, although religion can be seen as somewhat like a cultural factor, it isn't exactly a major barrier to international trade. This is because in international trade you hardly have anything to discuss about religion in international trade. So if all things should go smoothly, the business should just move and run smoothly without any hitch. Then for tariffs is definitely another barrier to international trade. So these are basically imposed taxes on goods and services either leaving or entering a country. So even after the trade has been completed, the tariff in terms of importation or exportation of the goods and services that has been bought or sold can serve as a barrier to smooth international trade. So we've picked out religion as the only one that cannot be exactly seen as a major barrier. So the correct answer is D, religion. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 54. If the price index of a country's average import in 1996 was 80 and the index for average export price was 100, the term of trade is A 65, B 75, C 80, D 125, E 130. So what you're looking for here is term of trade. And in term of trade, what you basically do is to get the ratio between or of the export to import, and then you multiply it by 100. So that's how you get the term of trade of the country. So term of trade, to expand this formula, will be the export price, the average export price, divided by the average import price, multiplied by 100. So in this case, the average export price was 100 and the average import price was 80. So multiplied by 100, that is 1.25 multiplied by 100, which is 125. And 125 is option D. So option D, 125, is the answer to this question. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 55. The OPEC Special Fund was established for the purpose of A. Advancing research and development of member countries, B. Providing financial assistance to non-OPEC developing nations, C. Providing soft loans to OPEC members, D. Stabilizing prices in the international markets, and E. Training and retraining of their members. So the OPEC Special Fund, the OPEC, or OPEC stands for Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. So a special fund under OPEC was established, and we are asked what the purpose of that special fund was. Now the special fund objective of OPEC is to reinforce cooperation between OPEC members, so the OPEC member countries, OPEC members, and other developing countries by providing financial support to the latter. So the latter in this case are the other developing countries. So the OPEC Special Fund was established to reinforce cooperation between the OPEC member countries and other developing countries which are not OPEC members by what? By providing financial support to the other developing countries, and providing financial assistance or financial support to the non-OPEC developing countries is seen in option B, providing financial assistance to non-OPEC developing nations. So therefore, the correct answer is B, providing financial assistance to non-OPEC developing nations. Thank you. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 56. The quantitative increase in a country's output over a period of time is regarded as A. Economic development, B. Economic diversification, C. Economic growth, D. Economic planning, E. Under development. So what happens, what do we call an increase in quantity, quantitative increase in a country's output, that is a country's production of goods and services over a period of time? So what do we call that? So option A, which is economic development, is the process whereby simple and low income economies, that is national economies, are transformed into modern industrial economies. So that is economic development. Now, economic diversification is or involves use of a broad range of economic activities in a region or country, that is shifting an economy from a single income source to multiple sources. So that's economic diversification. Now, economic growth, which is option C, is an increase in production of economic goods and services, that is output. Option D, which is economic planning, is a process by which key economic decisions are made by central governments. And lastly, option E, under development, is basically described as having a low standard of living. So when a country has poor or low standard of living, such country can be said to be underdeveloped. Now, option C, which is economic growth, is an increase in the production of an economy's good and services of a country. Now, those goods and services, the economic goods and services, are the output. So an increase in that country's output production is regarded as economic growth, which is option C. So option C is the correct answer to this question. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. And welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 57. Which of the following is not a major challenge in achieving the Millennium Development Goals? A. Empowering widows on entrepreneurial skills. B. Failure to implement the universal basic education nationwide. C. High and alarming rate of poverty. D. Inadequate skilled manpower and health facilities. E. The ravaging scourge of HIV and AIDS. So the Millennium Development Goals, or MDGs, were basically 8 goals put aside by the government and with collaboration from the United Nations in order to improve standard of living in low income countries. So Nigeria was one of the countries that participated in MDGs. Now, the 8th agenda included eradication of poverty, achieving universal primary education. Another was promoting gender equality and women empowerment. The next was reduce child mortality. Another was improve maternal health. The next was combat HIV, AIDS, malaria, and other diseases. Then you also have ensure environmental sustainability, and then lastly develop a global partnership for development. So these were the 8 MDGs, the 8 goals, and among the options given to us, empowering widows on entrepreneurial skills isn't exactly even one of the goals, so it isn't exactly a challenge in achieving the MDGs. But for failure to implement the universal basic education nationwide, achieving primary education was one of the goals, one of the MDGs. So this failure to implement the basic education nationwide is one of the problems that affected, or one of the challenges that affected the Millennium Development Goals. Now, high and alarming rate of poverty is a major challenge because eradication of extreme poverty was one of, or is one of the goals. So the high rate, the alarming rate of poverty poses as a challenge in achieving this goal. Now, the inadequate skilled manpower and health facilities. You have reduced child mortality, improve maternal health, and combat HIV, AIDS, malaria, and other diseases as MDGs that involve health, or that involve the health sector. Now, because of the inadequate skilled manpower in the health sector and inadequate health facilities in Nigeria, this goal, or this served as a challenge in achieving these 3 goals. And then the ravaging scourge of HIV/AIDS is also seen in these points about combating HIV/AIDS. So the ravaging scourge is a problem in achieving this exact goal. So you see that empowering widows on entrepreneurial skills isn't exactly a major challenge in achieving MDGs. So the correct answer is A, empowering widows on entrepreneurial skills. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 58. Crude oil in Nigeria was discovered in commercial quantities in the year A. 1945, B. 1954, C. 1958, D. 1960, E. 1988. So we're looking at crude oil in Nigeria. When was it discovered in commercial quantities? So it will be important to note that the year crude oil was discovered may be different from the year it was discovered in commercial quantities. So crude oil was first discovered in Nigeria in the year 1956. So it was discovered in 1956 in Oloibiri in the Niger Delta. At that time, the name of the region is Niger Delta. Now, this was when crude oil was first discovered in Nigeria. However, it was discovered in commercial quantities in 1958. Now, this happened when the first oil field came on stream. So when it came on stream, Nigeria joined the rank of oil producers. That was in the year 1958, and as at that time, the first oil field produced around 5,100 barrels per day. So Nigeria discovered crude oil, or crude oil was discovered in Nigeria in commercial quantities in the year 1958, and 1958 is option C. So option C is the correct answer to this question. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 59. Which of the following is an objective of OPEC? A. Diversification of the global economy. B. Exploration of petroleum products. C. Increase in product supply and prices. D. Stabilization of exchange rate. E. Stabilization of oil prices. So OPEC is Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. So the OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, its main objective, or its objective, is to coordinate and unify petroleum policies among member countries in order to secure fair and stable prices for petroleum products, and also to develop an efficient economic and regular petroleum supply to consumer nations and also a fair return on capital to investors in the industry. So one of the objectives is to stabilize oil prices. Look at it, and to provide secure fair and stable prices for petroleum products. So fair and stable prices for petroleum products is an objective of OPEC. That is stabilization of oil prices, and stabilization of oil prices is option E, which is the correct answer to this question. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm going to be answering Neco 2019 Economics Objective Past Question 60. The greatest of investment to human capital development is A. Better remuneration. B. Education and training. C. Infrastructural development. D. Provision of health facilities. E. Unemployment package or benefit. So we're looking at human capital development. What is human capital, and how do you develop human capital, and what then is the greatest investment to this human capital? So human capital is basically an intangible asset. It's regarded as an intangible asset or quality. Now it is the economic value of a worker's experience variance, and skills. So the economic value of a worker's experience and skill is what is known as human capital. Now these assets include intelligence, skills, and technical know-how. So they can be classified as these assets. Now, employers usually invest in the education of the human capital. Now, this is because we've established that the economic value of the worker's experience, that is skills, intelligence, knowledge, technical know-how, is what encapsulates human capital. So educating the people or educating the workers will improve their skills, and by improving their skills you also improve their experience, and hence improving the economic value of those skills. So the greatest investment is B, education and training. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Thank you.